You're gonna have fun?
Yeah, I'll take a shower again.
Okay, have fun with Auntie.
Are you really going to wear your cowboy boots to the pool? Okay, have fun. Giddy up.
Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up.
Giddy up, horsey.
Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up. Bye, have fun.
Your eyes is so familiar, ugly, and I know it's true that visions are seldom all they seem. But if I know you.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, we get a lot of comments, and over time especially, people always wondering about the Philippines. Can I afford to live in the Philippines? How much does it cost? What other they ask
Is $1,000 enough for me to live there?
They put in, ask different figures. Is 1,100 enough? Is 2,000 enough, or whatever? But I think, we can answer that question too in our own opinion, but it's just simply our own opinion because everybody's lifestyle is different. And like we've talked about a year ago in another video about this when we had the apartment in Bacong, that it really depends on several factors, of how you decide to live in the Philippines. But moreover than that, I think what the question really is, people talk about it being money, and that's usually the main thing. But what I'm wondering really is, by living over here, you see this Philippines in a different light, and I see it as a change of life. It's actually like a time capsule going back into time, and that's kind of like a craving people have, that, especially nearing retirement age, they're looking for a world that they used to know. When they were young, like in the United States. The United States is a whole different animal today than it was back in the 1950s and 60s. And it's that longing, I think, that is really motivating people to start thinking about moving out of their country, and they're seeking to find another place. They look for, we used to look into Costa Rica because it's close to the United States. That would have been a no-brainer, except that the more we studied about it, we found that it was unappealing in many other ways, and for one thing or another. Same with Panama. But people are searching in the United States and around the world too. I'm only going to speak for the United States because that's really what I know and feel since I was raised there. But when you live in the Philippines for a while, you start to really feel relaxed. You feel at peace. Every day is no worries. It's just easy and
simple life.
It's simple in the sense that you're especially when you have kids, you see it. The kids are very carefree. Most of them are very well loved. Although there's a big issue with poverty here, but foreigners can help a little here and there if they choose to help. Extend a helping hand if they feel that they want to do that. So there's plenty of opportunities to do good work over here if you want to as a foreigner, and there's a big appreciation for the good life over here, even though it may seem so impoverished compared to our Western standards, but in so many other ways it's so much better than the Western standards. You don't see this striving so much to, no matter how much money people have in the States, they just keep striving and working for their last dollar until they drop dead, at age 68, because they decided they didn't want to retire early, and they're fearful of never having enough. Well, that's how it is in the States these days. It's like you feel you never have enough. You've always got to be concerned about the high rising costs of medical insurance, which is a thing you don't have to worry about in the Philippines. Over in the States, you got to worry about raising your children in a kind and gentle environment. that's safe, and God only knows it's not safe in the United States. You see the mass killings every year, and it's many times more than one a year, and that's horrifying. But that's the things that Americans are faced with today. But you look back into the early 1960s, that was, to me, in my memory, was a very easygoing, fun time. Because of course I was only 10 years old. But it was before the Vietnam War and before the Kennedy assassination. I mean, America was just it seemed really easy. You know, people had money. As you know, World War II was over with, so there was a lot of big building booms in the United States. People had a lot of money, or they had jobs. They didn't have a lot of money, but they had jobs, and they could feed their families, and everything was affordable, and the children, would be sent out to play, and parents didn't have to worry about their children being kidnapped or molested by a school teacher or some other incident, or somebody in the store, or being, your kid's safety wasn't a huge concern, because there wasn't a constant barrage of bad news. Constant bad news in the media in the States that we have today. But over here, you can, it really is like a time capsule going back in time. And I think that's the longing and the real motivation behind people wanting to do whatever they can to move to a nicer place. They're getting older. When you get into your 50s or 60s, you're kind of in the final 1/3 of your life, and you want to live your life. That's in the spiritual traditions, that's considered the flowering point of your life, where you have gone through the striving for money and materialism, and you've learned the futility of that, and you no longer are consumed by that. So that's the beauty about the last third of your life, and hopefully it lasts a long time. But that should be the spiritual, the real spiritual time, and the real enjoyable time, where it's more carefree. You can think more altruistically about life, and enjoying your family more. And each moment of your day is just a different experience than you see in the States. And I'm sure other countries in Europe and Sweden and Australia and Canada, they know what I'm talking about. They have the same changes that have happened in their cultures in the last 70 years, 60 to 70 years. So the world has changed, and I think that's the driving force. Now back to the issue of, can you retire? Can foreigners afford to retire in the Philippines? I would say yes, but make sure you do have some Social Security, a pension, and it's a guaranteed source of income. It's going to be very difficult almost impossible to earn money over here unless you open a resort, and that's what a lot of the foreigners do that have money from their countries. They open resorts.
You plant a lot of trees and vegetables, and you raise some chickens and pigs or whatever.
Right, if you want to be a farmer, but when you hit 50, 60, you kind of don't feel like that anymore. That's too much work,
You hire somebody to do it.
I'm a lot lazier than that. But I admire people that do that. I really do. I think that's fabulous. People that can.
Yeah, they do rice fields and.
Well, that's even worse.
No, they hire somebody to do rice fields. How about
digging a hole? That sounds like fun. No, when you retire, but anyway, people do that, but you have choices. So the biggest savings, I'd say, in the Philippines is always going to be your rent or housing. And if you're lucky enough to be able to just build a home for cash over here, then you've really got it made, as long as you have a little guaranteed income coming in. But even if you just have to rent, and there's plenty of choices there, so you can always get something to rent for 20,000 pesos a month or less, and
$400.
Yeah, $400 or $500, $600. Which still a lot less expensive than in the States.
Yeah, it depends. It depends how you want to live with your life. Like, they have cheap rent too, like $200 if you are a single person and you want to be like a simple, just really simple. You don't want to be a little fancier, so you can get $200 a month also.
Especially, I'd say, if you're single, really, I mean, you're single, you don't have kids to worry about, or even a mate to worry about. You can live inexpensively over here, but you know, you are going to rough it a little bit in a little tiny kind of apartment with an air conditioner, one old air conditioner,
One bedroom.
But you can get inexpensive places there. There's a lot of that around. In fact, they seem to be building more of those kind of condos suitable for like one person or maybe two. You don't see a lot that are suitable for families in my situation, where I have Maurice and then I have Brianna and Joanne stays with us. So we've got a little family here. So we always end up spending more because we always have to get a larger place. And I like getting a nicer, larger place.
He likes to be fancier.
Yeah, I like to be a little
bit.
fancier.
And Brianna is a little spoiled too, so.
Well, you know, if you, yeah, so that's the preference, but yeah.
And the food is not that expensive. You can afford it, especially if you're a single person or you have girlfriend or whatever. And you can afford it. It's not expensive as like in America that everything's expensive over there. You work hard with your money, like you have a good job and you're really working hard many hours a day, like 8 hours a day. And those money is enough to pay with your rent. Like the rent right now is like $1,800 in Reno.
Yeah, $1,800 a month in Reno, and
plus food, plus electricity.
And the problem with the States is, first of all, it's the quality of life. People are very high stressed. In fact, a ranking just came out for the United States as, what is it? Where they're like the 16th happiest country in the world, or something ridiculous. We're not even considered a happy country. California got the gold award of the Booby Prize for being the most unhappy state in the United States, and that's the one I was raised in California. But we currently keep our official residency in Nevada. But yeah, so California has really gone down the tubes for quality of life, and people are constantly they're in traffic all day long. They're running around chasing money because you never have enough money there. You just never have enough money, and you got that disease, that mindset of consumerism, where you go to Costco markets in the States, it's relentless. The people are like savages, buying all this garbage at the store, that things you don't really need. It's all in excess. It's so indulgent, and to me, that's just. I look at that. I used to be like that, and I can't believe I used to be that way. But I changed a few years ago, quite a bit, and took a different approach to life, and that's what we're doing with our YouTube channel. We're living the life that we intend to embellish. So that's what we're doing with our YouTube channel. We're actually trying to convey the kind of life that we believe in living, just by the way our lifestyle and our choices.
Living free.
Yeah, the living free, thinking freely, questioning everything, all the dogmas we've been taught.
We're not rich.
No.
We're in the middle. We're not rich. We're in the middle. We're not poor. We're not rich.
Yeah, we're okay.
Well, I learned about something. I read something in Facebook. This guy is very rich, and he has a lot of money. And now he has cancer. He's dying. He has only a few weeks to live. And he wrote a really long letter. He said if he can turn back his life, he'd rather pick that. He has only enough little money to just travel the world and enjoy and be happy, because he said when he was young, he is so greedy. He wants to have money, working. He's working. He don't even take time to relax, because he wants the people to look at him as higher, like a king. He wants the people to respect him. So that's why he show off the people that he has money. He have a lot of car. He has a big house. And now he said that he has a lot of money, but the money can't even help to his cancer. The money can't save him. So now he's dying. He has a few weeks to live, and he cannot take the money to him when he died. So he said if he can turn back his life, he'd rather pick just a little money and travel the world and enjoy and be happy, because money is not really solve your problem. So I learned about that, and I realized, oh boy, I'd rather enjoy my life right now too, that I'm young. I don't want to have a lot of money, and if I die, the money don't help me like that. So that's, I realized and I learned about it.
Yeah, it seems like all the United States is supposedly a Christian nation, and yet it seems like the people at large in the population totally turn their back on the teachings they were raised with, about rejecting greed and materialism and just having what you need, and God will supply your needs on a daily basis. They just totally, it's so hypocritical. They just totally turn their backs on that, and you could pick all the religions that are telling us in ancient history, all the spiritual teachings going back thousands and thousands of years before even the Bible was written, telling you the same thing over and over, is don't pursue riches, because it's a loss. It's only it's usually it's just the egoic mind pressing you to make itself feel bigger and stronger and take over your true being and kind of camouflage who you really are. So anyway, we learned a lesson, so we're living the life we think is best for us, and we wish everyone else the best.
Life is short, so we'd rather enjoy it.
Yep, so you can retire, and foreigners love to retire in the Philippines, and I think it's because it's like taking a step back in time to a kinder, easier place, and people are very, they take the day moment by moment and they enjoy it. And even when things go bad, you just blow it off and you keep going. I mean, the Filipinos are famous for that. They have typhoons and earthquakes and all kinds of travesties happen. And I mean, just their houses get destroyed, and they just
They pick it up and build it again.
They build it again. They keep
from
going.
scratch.
Yeah, they just keep going, and in a year or two, nobody's talking about it. I mean, So anyway, I love the culture. I love the people. I love most all the food, and we just we're enjoying it, and we recommend it. So if you want to do it, come on over and give it a try. Make sure you've got money in the bank, so in case you do need to go back, and you get a little backstop for yourself, just a little safety net. But really, it's not difficult, and it's extremely pleasurable. We like it.
Yeah, like we are in our apartment right now here in Valencia, Marpa's apartment. We're like in vacation every day. You can see there's a lot of coconuts around you, and the swimming pool is just next to us. We're like vacation every day, like lying down in our couch. I just fell asleep like that. I close my eyes, just go sleep. Very relaxing.
Yeah, it's very true. It's like we don't want to, I mean, we were right in the middle of a lot of nice things to do around here, but we a lot of times we just, we're just kind of enjoying it. We'll stay home, and we won't go anywhere for a day or two, and then all of a sudden we'll get the urge to go somewhere. But it's very relaxing and peaceful and pleasant. Very pleasant. More pleasant than any place I've ever stayed in Nevada. Or California, even, for that matter. Very pleasant. And I stayed in a lot of nice places in California when I was younger.
Yeah, I'm sure some foreigners, they're scared to go somewhere else because maybe they're thinking that they have only little money to go. Maybe that's their thinking.
Well, of course, yeah. People worry about that. Yeah. Well, you have to just, consider it and think if that's what you want to do, and while you're doing it, figure out why is it that you want to come to the Philippines.
You have to question your mind first.
Yeah, why you want to go, and if you're going for a different life and that's what you want, I say go for it and just do it.
Yeah, if you want to change your life or something.
Yeah.
You want to be happy. Change your life, so go ahead and try Philippines.
Okay, guys, that's our little chat for today. Hope it helps, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I know you. I walked with you once upon a dream. I know you. That look in your eyes is so familiar, ugly, and I know it's true that
Good job, Leah.
visions are
Wow, look at that. There's your award.
That's your award.
But if I
Okay.
show you,
Say bye-bye.
I know what
Bye-bye.
you'll
Thank
do.
you. That was a good swim.
Me
Good.
the
Now,
Okay.
you know when I was 2 years old, I don't know how to swim.
Yeah.
way
Okay, come home in 10 minutes, okay? Okay, bye.
oh, oh.